What's up, everyone? I'm DJ Hamilton, and you're tuned into the DJ Sports Show, where we give you the latest, greatest, and most exciting sports stories in the world of sports, from interviews to having people's stories heard and told. This is the DJ Sports Show. Let's get it! What's up, everyone? I'm your host, DJ Hamilton, and welcome to DJ Sports Show, the place where we talk sports, have stories told, and make a difference. If you haven't already, make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe button, and share anybody you know who loves sports. See, a lot of people will be watching, but y'all don't be subscribed. Subscribing's free, it don't cost nothing. So make sure you guys will hit that subscribe button. And also, if you listen to audio platforms I'm on, leave a 5-star rating, share anybody you know who loves sports. We got a very special guest I'm about to be dropping soon, and he's NBA related. So I'm just going to let y'all know. Just going to give y'all a little hint. He's been an insider for many years, and he's one of the best ever doing the media business, especially when it comes to basketball and entertainment. So stay tuned for that. I don't want to give it away, but he's someone I call a good friend, and we're actually really cool. So I'm actually blessed to be able to have him as a mentor. So I just want to say that. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have my favorite sport coming back in the NBA. I know NFL was going on right now. That's cool. And I like football. Don't get me wrong. Second favorite sport. I enjoy football. Honestly, it's a sport I never played because I was afraid of getting injured growing up, getting my ribs cracked because I was naturally very skinny growing up, always active and fit, but I was very skinny growing up, skinny. So I stuck to basketball. And that's what really grew on me and everything growing up. And I just love the history of the game. And we're about to enter the 79th NBA season or 80th NBA season. I lost count. 79th. And it's about to be, I think, one of the best seasons we've ever had. We have so many great players in the league. It's crazy. We have the godfathers of the league and LeBron James, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, mixed with fountain of youth and elite young players from Victor Wembanyama to Anthony Edwards to a great rookie class and Cooper Flagg, Ace Bailey, and Dylan Harper. And then, of course, we have guys in their prime like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's coming off one of the greatest single seasons in NBA history, Finals MVP, SB Male Athlete of the Year, NBA Player of the Year. He won MVP. He won scoring champion. Like he took away every award you could think of. Nikola Jokic, Giannis and the Cooper all at the peak of their powers. And then, man, I'm ready to see some jaw-dropping dunks. I'm ready to see some mind-blowing three-pointers from downtown again. I'm ready to hear Mike Breen say bang. Yeah, let's get into it. But in this episode, we're going to talk our top 10 players coming into this season, my top 10. And I'm going to get into my NBA award predictions. So let's get into my list. So at number 10, I have Jalen Brunson of the New York Knicks. Someone who, as the leader of the Knicks, he guided the Knicks to the Eastern Conference Finals, the first appearance in the Eastern Conference Finals since 2000. He's one of two players, other than Luka Doncic being the other, in the last 2 years to average at least 25 points, 6 assists, while playing 35 minutes and shooting 45% from the field and 35% from three-point range. He's the only Knick to average those numbers in a season, and he's done it twice. This is a guy who's coming off being a clutch player of the year. He led the league in clutch points last year and field goals, en route to being clutch player of the year. And in the playoffs, he raised his game to new heights. In a single postseason run, he's one of 4 guards, joining Damian Lillard, Allen Iverson, and Devin Booker to average 29 points, 7 assists, and 35 minutes while shooting better than 45% from the field and 35% from 3. And when you look at the Knicks, right, their roster, they extended Mikal Bridges, who I think is a great two-way player. And you have Karl-Anthony Towns there, who could spread the floor or stretch 5, who they might play at the 4 this year and start Mitchell Robinson at the 5. That's going to be a scary, big lineup right there, especially in a thin Eastern Conference, very injury-riddled Eastern Conference. Let's be real. But I have the Knicks coming out the East. I think the Knicks, if they stay healthy and you add the bench depth with Jordan Clarkson, Gershon Yabusele, who they added, and then you also got a new head coach in Mike Brown, who emphasizes a motion-based offense, spreading the ball movement, and less isolation play, which is kind of what Brunson had to do because he had a more defensive-oriented coach and Tom Thibodeau. And you saw the numbers he put up with a defensive-oriented coach. Imagine now with an offensive-minded coach, how easy the game's going to come to him. Man, this is going to be exciting. I'm not a Knicks fan like team-wise, but I love great players, and Brunson's one of my favorite players in the league. And Karl Towns, I love the pick and pop game they have. It's just dangerous, and I think Mike Brown is going to be able to really take it to the next level. So I had Brunson at number 10 on my top 10 players entering the 2025-26 season. At number 9, we got Donovan Mitchell of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Spider. I mean, of any NBA player who has the most to prove coming to this year of the top 10 players, it's Mitchell. Coming off an All-NBA first-team selection, he led the Cavaliers to a franchise best record, 64 wins. You're one of the greatest playoff performers we've ever seen in NBA history. From the moment he stepped into the league out of Louisville, when he got drafted to the Utah Jazz, this guy's been a playoff performer. Only 6 players in NBA history have averaged at least 28 points in 60 or more playoff games. The list: LeBron, MJ, Jerry West, Allen Iverson, and Kevin Durant. It doesn't get much better than that. The Cavs have experienced 2 disappointing playoff losses over the last few seasons. In the second round, they lost to the Knicks back in 2024, and then last year you lost to the Indiana Pacers. Yep, Indiana Pacers in back-to-back years. And then last year, they were favored to defeat the Indiana Pacers. I know Garland went down with that toe injury. He wasn't the same, and he's going to miss early part of the season this year with the toe injury. So, and this is a team that has a lot of pressure coming in. Donovan Mitchell, you're the best guy, but this might be the last chance with this current roster as constructed to get to the NBA Finals. At least get to the NBA Finals, at least the conference finals. Because you guys are in the second apron. And teams that are in the second apron, remember, teams that go in the first or second apron, there's penalties when it comes to like future draft picks, capital, everything. There are consequences for that. And if they're going to have those be in the second apron, you better win a championship. The pressure is on Donovan Mitchell. And I know he's a great player. I feel like there's not as much pressure on him as other higher-end players who are on another level from him, like a Joel Embiid, for example. But there is pressure on him. Because this is a guy who is one of the greatest player performers we've ever seen. And he has done it time and time again. But if they don't get it done this year, get to the conference finals or NBA finals at least, expect there to be a big move next season, or next offseason, between Darius Garland or Jared Allen, because I can see them moving one of those 2 pieces, because I feel like Mitchell he's a mainstay here. He's the best player on the team. And then Evan Mobley is your franchise center block for the next 5-10 years. He is the reigning defense player of the year, and he's only getting better offensively. So you're definitely not trading him. And he has more upside than a Jared Allen. So that just makes sense. And then you guys add Alonzo Ball in a trade for Isaac Okoro, one-on-one trade. And you also have some big man depth now. You have Thomas Bryant and Larry Nance. So when Mobley and Allen need a breather, hey, you got a squad now, Donovan Mitchell. Show me something now. But yeah, Donovan Mitchell, he is my number 9 player on my top 10 players list for 2025-26. Number 8, the Godfather, the oldest man in the league, the King, the one who confused everybody with a decision 2, even me. At first, I was like, oh, he's retiring? And then I looked at it. I'm like, the ad, I was like, it's too casual. He's wearing that. There's no way he's retiring like that. So I'm like, yeah, LeBron ain't retiring. But it came to fruition that he actually isn't retiring. But if immortality were a person, it'd be named LeBron James. Entering an unprecedented 23rd season, and you're still one of the 10 best players in the league, it doesn't make sense. It's unfathomable to comprehend it, honestly. Even though he'll miss the opening month of the season with something called scalia, I don't know what it's called, but some type of injury, he defies the human anatomy. When they break down the human anatomy in what's it called? I forgot what the damn thing is. The human biology or something like that. They need to name LeBron James in that damn study, because this should not be possible to be this good still, well into 20 years of your career. 23rd season he's entering. He's the only player in NBA history, age 40 or older, to average 25 and 5. I know he's not what he used to be defensively, because he's in a different stage of his career. He's way past his prime. He's still good, but at 40 years of age, with arguably, I think he has the most minutes in NBA history. If not, Robert Parrish does. It's him or Robert Parrish. I forgot who has the most minutes, but he is still someone, when he wants to turn it on defensively, he can still be an impactful defender and guard multiple positions. And now you pair him with a Luka Doncic, who we'll see later on this list, who I'm going to mention. But you pair him with a Luka Doncic, who now for a full season, you have a better in shape Luka Doncic. You have LeBron and them together for a full season. You have newcomers DeAndre Ayton and Marcus Smart. This could be a solid core, and you still have Austin Reeves. This could be a very solid core. I think this Lakers team could be a team that could be a top 5 team in the West if they stay healthy. If Luka plays at MVP level, this team could be dangerous. And when James returns, watch out. This team can make an impact in the Western Conference, but Luka's going to have to hold the fort, which we'll get into him later. But LeBron is number 8 on my list. He's still a top 10 player in the league. Nobody, I think, can affect the game in more ways, probably, other than Nikola Jokic when he's playing at his best. So, yeah, I say LeBron is number 8 on my list. Number 7, Chef Curry, baby. Let's cook it. Kitchen wrist twisted like a stir fry, as amigos would say. The golden boy. I know he may not be in his prime anymore like he was a decade ago when he won a unanimous MVP. I can't believe it's almost been 10 years, honestly, when we're thinking about it. But Steph Curry is still an amazing basketball player. Even at 37 years old, he's still the most feared player you worry about when he crosses half court. Nobody strikes more fear into an opposing defense like Steph Curry. He is the only guard in NBA history, 35 or older, to average at least 24 points and 6 assists per game. That's crazy. And then you look at the roster now. You have Jimmy Butler there for a full season. Their record was much better after the Jimmy Butler trade last year. Draymond Green is still an impactful defender. I don't think the Warriors are title contenders, but Stephen Curry will still be one of the best players in the league, and his impact is immeasurable. He still can get hot, score 50 points in a game if he wants to. He can make 7-8 threes in a game, going on a fire shooting rant. This guy is still amazing, capable of classic games. Let's all appreciate him while he's still here, because once he's gone, the greatest shooter ever, the NBA is going to be a little bit less fun. So, Stephen Curry, I have number 7 on my list. Now, the next few guys, we got the Fountain of Youth coming up, the next 2 guys. So, number 6 is someone who is clear-cut the best defender in the league, Victor Wembanyama of the San Antonio Spurs. If it weren't for a blood clot, that's like the Jamaican blood clot. This little humor for you guys. But if it weren't for a blood clot for Wembanyama, he would have unanimously won Defensive Player of the Year last year in just his second season. Sorry, Evan Mobley. I know you're a great defender, but if Wembanyama doesn't go out with that blood clot and he reaches the 65-game minimum to win awards like Defensive Player of the Year, he clears everybody. Clears. It's not even close. And he honestly should have won it, I think, in his rookie year. Sorry, Rudy Gobert. I think Wembanyama should be a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year right now. But hey, he is the Eiffel Tower or the alien or someone I call the French Mamba because he has the killer mentality like Kobe, who's one of his idols, and he's from France. He has been everything we ever envisioned and more since coming to the NBA in 2023 with the most expectations since LeBron James. He's the youngest player in NBA history to average 24 points, 11 rebounds, and 3.5 blocks per game. He's the only player to do that this century, in case y'all didn't know. Shaq didn't do that. Tim Duncan didn't do that. Like, Kevin Garnett didn't do that. Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, Giannis. Wemby's the only guy to do that this century. Add in him making over 3-pointers per game last year, and he's the only player in NBA history with those numbers. He's a unique force in the league that we've never seen. And not to mention, like this offseason, he was on a monk retreat. He worked out with Kevin Garnett, and he worked out with Hakeem Olajuwon, strengthening his body and his mind. It's about to get real scary in the NBA. Victor Wembanyama, stronger now, and I don't know if y'all been seeing the preseason, but this guy's bullying guys in the paint. He's finishing stronger at the rim. He's not afraid to take bumps and bruises against guys posting up, and when he's trying to back guys down. And somehow he grew another inch or 2. He's 7'5", 7'6" now. Like, what? It's incredible with this. And you look at the young talent you have around him. Stephon Castle, that dunk was crazy. He had on James Wiseman. Whew! Had mercy on James Wiseman. So, and then you look at Dylan Harper, who I think could be a star in the NBA, an all-star, all-NBA type guard if he develops properly. Especially in the Spurs system, I think him and Wembanyama, you're going to see a lot of lobs for the foreseeable future if they pan out together. And I think Stephon Castle could be that third guy. I think this could be the trio that the Spurs need to finally make the playoffs this year. I think this year is the year they'll make the playoffs. I thought it would be last year, but the blood clot from Wembanyama ruined their chances. But this is the year, I think now, after he got stronger, he's healthy now, he got cleared to play, and you have a great roster, solid roster around you. And he has a good backup big man and Cornet around him off the bench. I think this is the year the Spurs finally make the playoffs, and Wemby finally makes his playoff debut and makes some noise in the postseason. So yeah, we'll see the ascension of the next NBA legend, which is Wembanyama. So yeah, NBA, it's about to get scary. The next guy is number 5, Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Believe that, as he would say. The growth of the Timberwolves' hyper-athletic guard ever since he came to the NBA has been amazing. Coming in as a high-flying, slam-dunking shooting guard with a braggadocious personality that reminds you of a Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, which is why he gravitates to young, especially to old-school NBA fans. He reminisces on those type of guys of the old-school NBA. And he's an appointment television. He talks trash to his opponents, casts his trays in people's face, and he commits violent rim assaults at the basket. Like when he's going to the rim, you better put your prayers up for your son. Whoever mother's out there, and Anthony Edwards playing against your son, you better be praying because he might be dunking on them. He joined Steph Curry last year as the only players in NBA history to average 25 points, 5 rebounds, while shooting 10 or more threes per game and shooting at a 39% clip or better from downtown. He's the only player to do that ever in NBA history, 25 or younger. And he's only 24. He's only going to get better. And if you watch some of the preseason, he's starting to do that little fadeaway, the mid-range, working the mid-range like Jordan and Kobe. If he masters that, and he has that with his high flying and his three-pointers, woo! I think this is the next step of Anthony Edwards' evolution. You make that, and it's not just he's putting up great numbers. The reason why he's getting those lofty Jordan and Bryant comparisons, he's doing it in the postseason too. He's showing up. He made back-to-back Western Conference Finals in the last 2 years as the best player on both of those teams. Even when they had Cat in 2024, Anthony Edwards was the driving force, was the bus driver of those teams. When the lights get bright, he doesn't shy away from it. He shines brighter. He stands up and he says, I got this. And I love what he does as a teammate. He always uplifts his teammates, gets them hype, and he always is talking to them to uplift them. And you see that when you're watching the game too. He's that dude, man. And I think this is the year. I don't know if the Timberwolves will make the finals. I don't know if this year they break through because the Thunder in the Western Conference and the Denver Nuggets got better. So I don't know if it's this year he'll make it, but I think this is the year. If he's not top 5 already, I think this is the year he solidifies himself as a top 5 NBA player. Now, let's get into the top 4 because it's a clear-cut top 4, all international players. I love the globalness of the NBA game and basketball as in general. At number 4, Luka Doncic of the Los Angeles Lakers. So after a preposterous trade of the century, and perhaps in sports history, he'll play his first full season in the purple and gold. The talk of the offseason was Doncic's new physique. He was on the Men's Health magazine. That's how good he looks. Luka Doncic, you saw the damage he's done throughout his NBA career when he wasn't in shape. Now imagine what he could do when he's in shape now. We should be frightened, ladies and gentlemen. We should be frightened. People are ecstatic. Lakers fans, NBA fans. If you're a basketball fan, you should be excited to see this. Not even just Luka. Zion's in shape too. This is the best they've ever looked in their careers since probably coming in the league. This is the best Luka has looked probably since his first 2 years in the league when he was slim. And then he kind of got that weight on and heavy during COVID, during that going into his third season. That's when you saw the difference. But man, skinny Luka, and in a down year, quote unquote, he still averaged 28, 8, and 7 to go with 1.8 steals per game, shooting 45% from the field and 36% from three. In a down year. Like that, in a down, that's most people's prime numbers. And that's a down year for Luka. Most people would say last year was a down year for him because he only played 50 games and he was injured most of the time. And he didn't even look fully at his best. Him and Jokic are the only players to put up those numbers last season. And now with a new diet and better conditioning, I think we're going to see the best Doncic we've seen yet. Get ready for the Don, y'all. Luka Doncic is coming. And I won't be shocked if he's in MVP talks or if he wins the MVP this season. But the next three guys might be the favorites to win MVP, and let's get into them. At number 3, we have the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, the trade rumors have been never-ending for the Bucks icon, but many Bucks and NBA fans will be pondering this season whether Antetokounmpo will eventually remain with the Bucks or depart, because he has been kind of passive-aggressive on his stance and his future in Milwaukee. The Bucks haven't had much postseason success since they won the title back in 2021. They got bounced out the first round the last 3 years. 3 years. The last time they made the second round was back in 2022. I was in college in New Paltz during that time. I remember when Giannis was barreling his way to the rim against that Celtics defense. I thought he was going to probably will them to win that series by himself without Chris Middleton, who went down that series. But him and Tatum had that classic Game 6. And unfortunately, the Bucks didn't win it. But hey, no one can blame him for wanting to look elsewhere to contend for a title. But nonetheless, despite the lack of postseason success, he's still proven to be a top 3 player in the league because he's such a dominant force on both ends of the court. He's the only player in league history to average 30-plus points on 60% shooting from the field twice in a season. No one else has done it even once. He did it back-to-back years of the last 2 years. Not even Wilt Chamberlain or Shaquille O'Neal, the most imposing figures physically in NBA history, people who consider those two the 2 most dominant forces ever to grace the basketball court, have put up those numbers. And what makes it even more impressive, those guys were in eras and offenses where the game was predicated around the center, where the offense was oriented and they did playbooks around the center. And the fact that Giannis is the only guy to do this, wow, we need to appreciate the Greek freak's greatness. And I've always been a fan of it. Now, the Bucks might not be true title contenders in a bleak Eastern Conference, but outside the Cavs and Knicks, what team is really up there in terms of title contention in the Eastern Conference outside of those 2 teams? After that, it's kind of wide open who come out the East. The Hawks with Trae Young, of course, that's Porzingis. They got a new look team, great young guys. Jalen Johnson, I expect him to take a jump into All-Star status this year. He was on pace to do that last year before he got hurt. So the Magic, Paolo Banchero, they got Desmond Bay there now, shooting to spread the floor, open up the lane for Banchero and Franz Wagner, who looks like he got his jumper back. Those are the few teams I could probably see. One of those teams maybe upsetting the Knicks or Cavs to get to the conference finals. But I'm not really going to, especially the Bucks. I don't see the Bucks. Outside of Miles Turner as his teammate, there's no other guy I really trust. I mean, Gary Trent Jr. is a solid dude, but most of the guys on this roster outside Miles Turner wouldn't be a starter on any other good NBA team. So it's going to take Giannis' 2-way dominance for him to be a top 3 or 4 seeded in the Eastern Conference. But yeah, either way, no matter what, he's still one of the 3 best players in the league, and he'll be in the running for MVP once again. Number 2, SGA of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Man, there ain't nobody cooler than SGA on and off the court. Have you guys seen this guy's Instagram captions? This guy doesn't miss. He got the rhymes for days, the riddles, everything. Few guards in NBA history had a season like SGA's 24-25 season. Let's check the list of accolades he had because it's one for the books. Finals MVP, NBA champion, MVP, scoring champion, SB for NBA Player of the Year, and Male Athlete of the Year. He joined Michael Jordan as the only guards in NBA history to average 30 points per game on 50% shooting for 3 consecutive seasons. His performance last year was just one of masterclass efficiency and volume. You should not be this efficient as a number one option when the defense knows you're going to be looking to score the ball all the time, and you still get buckets no matter what. They can't do anything to stop you. He joined Jordan, Shaq, and Kareem as one of 4 players in NBA history to win MVP, Finals MVP, and a scoring title in the same season. He's at the peak of his powers, and there's a legitimate argument he could be number 1 on this list. He's also a solid defender who was top 10 in Defense Player of the Year votes last year, and who always seems to be one of the top steals leaders every single season. As great as he is, and I think the Thunder, they extended him this offseason to a great contract. They extended Jalen Williams, or J-Dub, and Chet Holmgren, their big 3, for at least the rest of this decade, so they're locked in for at least the next 5-6 years. This is a team that could really contend to be the first team to repeat this decade, because this decade is looking reminiscent of the 70s of the NBA when no team repeated. The parity is amazing in the league right now, and I love it. But number 1, as great as Shea is, number 1, I mean, he might be the most undisputed best player since Michael Jordan in the 90s. Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets. There aren't enough adjectives to describe Jokic. Unbelievable, indescribable, prolific, a jokester. The distance between him and the rest is like probably Jordan in the 90s and LeBron in his prime. That's how great he is. If you looked on Bleacher Report, the lowest rank they had him is 1. Highest rank, 1. Everybody undisputedly agrees that Jokic is the best player in the league. He's won 3 of the last 5 MVPs in the last 5 years. Incredible. He almost had a 30-point triple-double last year. Did y'all see he was the first player in NBA history to record a 30-20-20 game? That was insane. And he set the single game center assist record with 22 assists last year. He broke Wilt Chamberlain's record. Anything you do breaking Wilt Chamberlain's record in anything is greatness. He's the only player in NBA history to average at least 29, 12, and 10 with an effective field goal percentage of 60 or better. There's what else can you say? What else can you say? They traded Michael Porter Jr. to get Cam Johnson from the Brooklyn Nets, and they also got double-double machine on Valanciunas, who will be the center off the bench when Jokic needs a breather. So this is a guy, Valanciunas, who can stretch the floor and things of that nature. Because Jokic played the most minutes per game of his career last year, and you can tell he was gassed by the time he got to that playoff series deep against the Thunder. When he got to that Game 5, Game 6, Game 7, he was gassed. This year now, you got Cam Johnson, who could put the ball on the floor a little bit better than a Michael Porter Jr. You got a double-double machine coming off the bench in Valanciunas, so there won't be no huge drop-off when you go to the bench. And Valanciunas is a good passer, too. This guy who score, rebounds well, and can pass and stretch the floor. And you have Bruce Brown, who came back from that 23 title team, who Jokic immediately kind of mentioned and joked he wanted to come back so I could save his career. Paraphrasing. That was funny. Jokic, I just love Jokic, man. He has a great personality, man. But yeah, those are my top 10 players for the NBA season. Let me know if y'all agree. Who would you put higher? Who would you put lower? I want to know. Who's in your top 10? Who's in your top 5? Who you have number 1? Or who did I leave out the top 10 that you have in the top 10? Let me know in the comment section below. Now let's get to my NBA award predictions for the 2025-26 season. I'm going to start with most improved player and all the way up to like MVP, the highest award. So most improved, I have Amon Thompson of the Houston Rockets. They obviously believe you're the future franchise guard of this organization because they traded away Jalen Green instead of you. They believe you're the future here. You could be a star in this league. This is a guy, Amon Thompson, who's very confident in himself. He showed a lot of improvement last year. We saw a lot of great signs, and especially in the postseason when he was guarding Stephen Curry and guys like that throughout the season. And he made all defensive first team last year. He also received Defensive Player of the Year votes as well in his second year. And then you have him with a Kevin Durant now, who joins the team, veteran presence, and one of the greatest players of all time who you could learn from on how to be great. And I think Kevin Durant can give him jump shot tips as one of the greatest shooters and scorers in NBA history, because that's the weakness with Thompson. He's not a shooter. But I think having having Durant there now, who is one of the greatest we've ever seen, has a soft touch, beautiful form on his shot, everything, can teach Thompson some tips to get his offensive game to the next level. I just think his drive and desire to want to be great. He even said he wants to be Defensive Player of the Year. That's some lofty goals right there now. Because Wembanyama's in the league, Chet Holmgren's in the league, and Evan Mobley. But hey, if there's a guard who can do it, it's Amon Thompson. He's a freakish athlete. He can stay with the best of them. He's strong. He's 6'6", 6'7". He can guard with the 1 through the 4, and even some small ball 5s if he wants to. And then you also look at, he has Alfred Sengun, who's a great passer. He's going to be playing off the ball from. And then you have Fred VanVleet, who tore his ACL. So Thompson's going to get even more touches now with VanVleet being out for the season. So if you thoroughly think about it, it really makes sense he could be most improved player of the year. It really all depends on if his offensive game improved. My runner-up for most improved, I have Josh Giddey, Chicago Bulls. He 14, 8, and 7 on 46% from the field. There's no Lonzo Ball there in Chicago anymore, so I expect him to have more touches for playmaking and running the offense. But yeah, my most improved, I have Amon Thompson. Sixth man of the year, DeAndre Hunter of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And my runner-up, I have Naz Reid of the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I'm just going to get into my sixth man of the year pick. Hunter, only bench player with at least 60 games played last year, who averaged 17 points, while shooting 45% from the field and 40% from three. He's a solid defender for the Cavaliers, and this is a team expected to contend for a title, and he can guard multiple positions. Hunter's just so productive off the bench in that second unit for the Cavaliers. I think the sixth man of the year race is going to be between him, Reed of Minnesota, and then Josh Hart of the New York Knicks. It's going to come down to those three, but I'm going with Hunter for now. Because what I saw last year when he got traded from the Hawks to the Cavs, I loved what I saw. And he had some great games for the Cavaliers. He won some games for them. So I got him as my sixth man of the year. Coach of the year, Mike Brown of the New York Knicks. My runner-up, Jamal Mosley. I think Brown is going to do a great deal for this Knicks offense that kind of didn't have no creativity in their offense with a defensive-minded, oriented coach in Tom Thibodeau. He has a motion-based offense. You're going to see a lot of ball movement, a lot of cutters, moving like a triangle offense, maybe something like that. He is the one who led that, like the Beam Sacramento Kings team, back to the postseason. He ended their 18-year playoff drought, something like that, a few years back when he won Coach of the Year. This guy knows how to coach. He coached that 07 Cavs team to the finals with LeBron. This guy knows how to coach. And let's put respect on his name. He got done dirty by Sacramento a few years back, but I'm glad he got his opportunity now in the Big Apple, where the light shine brightest, the city that never sleeps. But yeah, Mike Brown, you have a great roster. Karl Towns, Jalen Brunson, 2 All-NBA guys, 2 All-Stars. You have solid starters and great bench unit. You have Miles McBride. You have Josh Hart. You have Jordan Clarkson. You have Mikal Bridges. You have Mitchell Robinson, a defensive, shot blocking, athletic, hybrid 5. You have some pieces here. You have Gershon Yabusele coming off the bench. This is the year I think the Knicks can break through and make the NBA Finals with Brown coaching them, assuming they stay healthy. I think the only team that can stop the Knicks this year, if they stay healthy, is the Cavaliers. That's it. I don't think any other team can beat them other than the Cavaliers if they stay healthy. And my runner-up is Jamal Mosley of Orlando Magic. I just think you have Desmond Bane there now who can spread that floor. I think Paolo Banchero is going to take an MVP-level jump. I think the Magic are going to go from a team that was solid, always making the playoffs, getting bounced on the first round, to a team that can ascend to a team that's a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference. I think this is the year they do it. I think Wagner and Banchero are going to take significant jumps this year and both be all-stars together for the first time. So yeah, I think those are my Coach of the Year candidates. I have Mike Brown winning, and my runner-up is Jamal Mosley. Clutch Player of the Year, I got Anthony Edwards and Minnesota Timberwolves. He led the NBA in clutch stats last year, clutch points, 157. He, I think, will be more efficient this year. I think he'll take fewer threes. I think he's going to be more of a mid-range guy this year. I think we'll see something like that. He's been studying a lot of Jordan, a lot of Kobe. So I think, especially if he wants to get to the next level and be recognized as the best player in the league, if he wants to get to the NBA Finals level and what he can do, I think he's going to have to really master that mid-range. And I think he's going to make him more efficient. I think Brunson, he's going to be my runner-up because he won it last year. So you got to put respect on his name, especially when you're going to be playing in a better offensive system. He'll be in that category as well for clutch player of the year. But I think it's between these two again. But I'm going to go with Edwards because I just think he's going to be able to take the ball and do what he has to do in certain situations and just help his team and will his team to win. So, and I know he wants to be the best. I know he said no one's going to outwork him this summer, and I think he's going to prove it this year. So, yeah, he's my clutch player of the year. Defense player of the year, I'm not even going to waste much time on this. Victor Wembanyama, yeah, runner-up, Chet Holmgren of the Thunder. Over the past 2 seasons, he's averaged 3.5 blocks per game, 3.5 blocks per game. Only player in league history to do that under the age of 22. There's nothing else really to be said. Like, there really isn't. So, he's my defense player of the year. Nobody does it like him. He can guard perimeter, switch out on guards. He will block the rim from like 5 feet out. Someone could think they have an easy layup. He's right there. Boom. It's off the glass. Position in transition. He's that special. And he could block your shot out from the 3-point. You're shooting the 3-point, he could be all the way in the lane at the elbow and then come out and block your shot. It's something I've never seen before. If he stays healthy, he's defense player of the year. Rookie of the year, Cooper Flagg of the Dallas Mavericks. And my runner-up is Ace Bailey of the Utah Jazz. I've been saying Cooper Flagg was faster since I've watched him since he was a freshman in high school or when he was in 8th grade. I knew of him since he was 2021 when he was like in 8th grade. I said, this kid's going to be special. And then I called him the Menace from Maine, and then people call him the Main Event. I love those nicknames for him. Cooper Flagg might be even better than most people thought in his first season. Offensively, his jump shot's looking smooth. He looks comfortable within the offense. And he is a psycho maniac competitor. You see how hard he's going in preseason? Preseason as a number 1 pick. You think there'll be laissez-faire? No. He's going all out. Blocking shots off the backboard, everything. Guarding the team's best player, picking them up full. He's doing all that. Running hard for lobs. He's doing all of that. Cooper Flagg is going to be one of them ones. And he's playing in a great system with veterans around him like Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving's going to be out until like March. But you have great guys around you who are 3 future Hall of Famers right there to learn from. You have a Hall of Fame head coach, Jason Kidd, one of the greatest players of all time to learn from. You have P.J. Washington on that team. You have Derek Lively on that team. This Dallas Mavericks team could be the best defensive team in the league. And I think Cooper Flagg is going to really benefit from that. The environment's going to nourish him and bring the best out of him. And he's a very mature kid, man. He is 18 years old, carries himself, though, like a 25-year-old vet. And he's ready this good. I can't imagine how good he's going to be 5 years from now. He is special. And then Ace Bailey, in that preseason game against the KD Rockets, he looked like he'd been in the league for 6-7 years. Getting buckets like a smaller like a young Kevin Durant or a prime Rashard Lewis. Like I said, when I did an article on Ace Bailey, on why I think he's the next scoring wing for Hoops Habit, I said he reminds me of Tracy McGrady, a young Tracy McGrady, raw talent. And if he goes to the right organization, I said, this is before the draft lottery, so I didn't know what team he was going to go to. I said, if he goes to the right organization that can mold that ball of clay into a great piece of art, he's going to be special. And you go to a Utah Jazz organization that has a really good developmental team and staff. You have Danny Ainge heading things and calling the shots. I think Ace Bailey, and you have a great young head coach in Will Hardy. I think Bailey is going to be special. I think the Rookie of the Year race is going to be between Bailey, Flagg, and Dylan Harper. That's the 3-man race. Let me not sleep on VJ Edgecombe, too. This is a very talented rookie class, especially after the stinker of last year, when there was nothing to really be excited about of last year's 2024 draft class. This year's draft class has future All-NBA guys and some future Hall of Famers. This class is special. But yeah, I got Flagg as my Rookie of the Year. I just think he's going to do so many things for this Dallas Mavericks team and make a difference on both ends of the court. And he's a psychotic competitor. So, yeah, he's my Rookie of the Year. And lastly, MVP. This one was kind of tough. But I'm going to go Nikola Jokic of Denver Nuggets. And my runner-up will be SGA. I think Jokic, you have a better team around you than you did last year. And I think he's going to be even better because he's going to be fresher. Because now you have a really good center coming off the bench. You're going to be even more fresher when you come back into the game to still be a high impact player and more energy to do more damage. And you didn't win it last year. And he could have easily won it last year. Almost a 30-point triple-double. I think voters are going to vote for him to win his 4th MVP. Because they're going to be like, man, we didn't give it to him last year, and he gave us a 30-point triple-double almost. And if his numbers are just as good as they were last year or better, there's no way you can't give it to him. And his team is going to be up there in the Western Conference and amongst the NBA. They're going to easily be a top 2-3 seed in the Western Conference. The only team that will probably be better than Denver Nuggets is SGA's Thunder. That's it. I don't see any other team being better than them other than the Thunder. So it's going to be an interesting race for all these awards coming into the 2025-26 NBA season. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let me know who you have winning the awards. Do you have someone else who as different from my pick that you have winning MVP or Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year? Let me know in the comment section below. I want to know your guys' thoughts. And we could debate too in the comments too if you have a different player. But yeah, and I don't want to sleep on MVP as well. I think Giannis will be in that discussion as well. So I just want to say that as well. Give respect to the Greek freak. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below on who you have winning what award. I think it's going to be a very special NBA season. First season back on NBC since what, 01, 02? I was a baby when that was going on. I was born in 2000 for y'all who don't know. So I was a baby when all this stuff was happening live on NBC, NBA on NBC. And now if they have that theme song back, I'm going to love it. Because growing up, I used to really watch a lot of basketball documentaries, games, classics, read a lot of books and on the great players, greatest games. And then when I watch certain great games from the 90s and 2000s on YouTube and hearing that theme song, I'm like, man, the golden days in NBA. And I'm hoping we get that back now, the feel. And then on Amazon Prime. And I hope ESPN doesn't ruin Inside the NBA. So those are some of my hopes for the NBA season. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. The NBA is back. It's so back. I'm so hyped. My favorite sport. And you can tell by the enthusiasm and energy I have. But yeah, if you guys haven't, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. Share anybody you know who loves sports. And make sure you guys continue to, spread the word on the podcast and website, man. I have some big news coming soon. I can't wait to announce it. I've been very patient, but I don't want to say nothing until it's done. You know what I'm saying? Don't say nothing until it's done. So I just want to say something's big's coming. But yeah, I'm very proud of it, but I can't wait till it's done so I can really tell you guys and show you guys. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special guest coming on soon that I'm going to be releasing his episode soon that I did with. He's an NBA insider for a long time and one of the best in the business. So stay tuned for that as well. But yeah, make sure you guys follow, like, subscribe so you guys don't miss anything. But yeah, I'm your host, DJ Hamilton of DJ Sports Show, the place where we talk sports, have stories told, and make a difference. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.